Hello, how are you guys doing? Tonight we're going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be setting up a new segment, something I want to try and implement within the stream, and I'm going to be calling it Live Right. What that entails is that we're going to be taking a look at certain topics, content, and I'll be spending about 10 minutes to take that idea and flesh it out in writing, and then about 5 minutes to proofread, and then 5 minutes to discuss and talk it over. Is it a good idea? Does it have is it kind of valid? Can I send this out? And maybe just ask some questions for people that are hanging out. This is something that I think will be pretty neat in the long run because it'll help make diverse content that I can distribute kind of anywhere, and it's not really pigeonholed into one game or one system or one setup. I can kind of take this wherever I land in a game and say, all right, let's do a live write. Let's just talk about this, get on stream, write about this this one topic, and whatever I choose for that time, and then we'll just sit and write. And so right now, I guess I just want to spend about 20 minutes. We're about 10 minutes in, and I want to spend about 20 minutes going over and writing about a topic. And the one thing I would pick for tonight as the first thing to write about is the artifact. So yeah, I guess I picked a topic that I already have some notes on and kind of have already started dissecting a little bit, so a little bit of a cheater for the first one, but I didn't have as much time as I wanted to kind of sit in here and think about a topic to kind of flesh out in its entirety to go through, but that's fine and dandy. So I do want to bring this over, I don't know, we'll go ahead and kind of start as is here. And we're going to talk about the Destiny 2 artifact, something that I thought was really interesting, and I think it's just a neat idea to kind of go over is in Luke Smith's director cut part 2, he talks about the artifact in a little bit more length, gives us a little bit more insight on what it does, how it functions, but he also states in there one sentence, a little phrase within a sentence that I thought was really interesting, kind of sparked an idea, is that it states that each season we'll be getting a new artifact with new mods that'll change how we play, and so this kind of got me thinking of what's going to happen in the next coming seasons, and what are going to be the different types of artifacts, how that kind of changes maybe a little bit of the lore and whatnot. So each season we'll have a new artifact. So I guess what I want to do is going to talk about what we know about the artifact now, its themes, its how it looks, and kind of how it fits within the realm of right now, or fits in the realm of the upcoming season of the Undying. So it's what the artifact is a Gate Lord Eye. It's a Gate Lord's Eye. And this has a heavy thematic, resemblance to the season of Undying. It's a Vex Eye, and we're fighting the Vex, so we have a Vex artifact. It's to the Vex. Let's see. It relates to the Vex. Season of the Undying, because it relates to the Vex season of Undying because it's a Vex Gate Lord Eye. There we go. With this new item brings new mods, new ways to play, and levels up. So what I think is really neat about just this idea, just kind of making correlations where it's like follows the Vex theme. You know, it's you can have a little bit of lore wrapped into it, maybe some more explanations, offering into like powerful items that, you know, you can collect and modify how you play. I think it's really, really, really awesome. Kind of neat, like really, you know, I guess what I get excited about is, you know, looking for, okay, we get a Gate Lord's Eye, so then what do we get to have, you know, the next season, like Season of the Dawn? Let's imagine that, you know, Season of the Dawn is just a bunch of Fallen, and what we receive then is not a Gate Lord's Eye. It's going to be, you know, maybe a chunk of a servitor. Maybe we get like a miniature dead servitor, you know, something that like is booming with ether that we actually, you know, can make more powerful. We can feed it, we can grow it in XP. It has different mods. You know, I'm you know, spitting off the cuff here, but you know, what if we get new new artifacts for different races as we progress through the seasons? If we have a season that is, so let's say we have a season that's, you know, okay, so kind of wrapping up what I just kind of talked about into the kind of this right is, you know, what if we have a season that is Fallen based, Fallen themed? We could possibly have, you know, like a part of a servitor have a part of a dead servitor as the artifact for that season. Or, well, they also have, don't they have crystals? I'm not exactly sure, but I think that'd be pretty cool for that season. And then subsequent, like, you know, each season or each, you know, race would have something different. Like, I mean, what would Cabal probably be something like a Scion helmet? That'd be kind of cool. Or maybe with like a Scion hand. I don't know. Like, I guess for myself, I don't really know and understand the lore too much, but I think this would be really, really cool. Maybe, so perhaps in a season focused around the Cabal, we could acquire an artifact from, let's say a new artifact. We could acquire a new artifact from a Scion, you know, Scion's helmet. Because I'm trying to think like what, you know, things that, you know, you can, that are powerful within the game, within like the lore. Like servitors are beings that absorb ether, which is kind of like the life force power of the Fallen. And then you have Scions, who are, you know, these powerful mystical creatures that, you know, beings that use their mind. Helmet. So that's something that's really cool, neat idea. Something that just, you know, from the Cabal, I think you can go with that. There might be something else too behind the lore that maybe I'm not well aware of. But, you know, definitely want to get there at some point, becoming more versed in the lore and understand it a lot better. Let's see, what else? I don't know, man. Well, let's keep on going. Let's just go through. I got a couple more minutes. And then what else? Perhaps we have assigned to acquire artifact from a Scion's helmet, or we, you know, acquire, or we use a hive template that helps us in another season as an artifact. Creates a kind of a, so I mean, Bungie having this new artifact, that could possibly change into something different could result in, yeah, it could just result in deeper lore. I mean, just like having lore tied in, like people can be like, oh dude, why do I have this tablet? What's a hive tablet? Like, you know, it's really interesting. I mean, you could just make more ties to lore in that way. It just gives more opportunity for the game to be like, oh yeah, these things are resemblance of power. Let's talk about the lore. Let's talk about this tablet. And yeah, so connection deep lore could be used for deeper story telling and connecting deep lore and connecting deep lore to the general, like the general public population. I think that works. I think it's good. I think that works good. So what the artifact is a Gate Lord's Eye, is this season, is during the season of Undying. The artifact during, yeah, let's get rid of what? The artifact during the season of the Undying is a Gate Lord's Eye. It relates to, I mean, it directly coordinates. It directly relates to the season of the Undying because of by Undying and its Vex theme. It's funny, like we're going back to the beginning. Like the next raid we're getting is a Vex raid. It's like the culminator raid of Bungie being brand new by itself as a Vex raid. The first raid in Destiny 2 or Destiny was a Vex raid. The first raid in Destiny 2 where Bungie's the self-publisher is a Vex raid. All right, cool. All right. It directly relates to the season of the Dying, and it's with its Vex theme. With this new item, brings new odds and new ways to play, and supposedly, we get a new one. We get a new artifact each season. So what if we get a new, so what if the new artifact, what if the new artifact yeah, let's say what if, there we go. What if we have a season that is Fallen themed? We'd possibly have to have a part of a dead servitor as an artifact for that season. Perhaps in a second focus around the Cabal, in a season, perhaps in a season focused around the Cabal, we acquire an artifact from a Scion's helmet. or we use a hive template that helps us in another season as an artifact, as another season that artifact. Bungie having, so maybe trying to tie it out then. What do I have up here? Hunch helps the flow of the story, makes great conversational piece, follows a shift to the mindset of leaving one season behind. Oh yeah. This also, that's right. This also creates a transition between one season and the next in handing as what Bungie wants to do. Bungie wants to have smoother story arcs from one season to the next. All right. So I think this is actually a really cool idea. And a neat way to kind of dissect and look at the different ways that Bungie's wanting to bring storytelling and different storytelling elements into Destiny 2. The artifact will be something that will be, we're not used to. We'll get to know it intimately. We'll get to labor over leveling it up. We'll get to tinker with the mods, different mods that it brings, and that's going to be something that'll be, a lot of people will be focused on that. And as Season of the Undying goes from start, middle to end, and into the next season, Season of the Dawn, we're going to be getting a new artifact. I mean, even if it's not, I mean, that's at least what I interpret and how I interpret the writing in Luke Smith's Director's Cut Part 2 is that we'll be getting a new artifact. And I believe the Gate Lord's Eye, we will not have this artifact. As soon as we hit Season of the Dawn, we'll acquire a new artifact that we'll have to level up, and which will correlate with that season's theme. There's a whole bunch of different ideas around that they can use. It doesn't have to be tied to a race. Like here, we're fighting the Vex, so it has to be Vex. It's a Vex theme artifact. You have a bunch of different types of. You have Fallen, you have Hive, you have Cabal, you have Taken, and so you can have all these opportunities to have some really kind of, I guess, unique, different artifacts to have each season, keeping it fresh. You're not looking at the same thing. Kind of with, with static content, you have all these different, or you have all the same thing you're looking at like throughout the year to year to year, and so that's going to be really unique. I think kind of a refresh, and it really speaks well to kind of how Bungie wants to flow season to season. They want to take one season, have it start, middle, culminate, and finish at the end, and hand off to the next season. And it's going to be a nice transition when you take that artifact. You're done leveling up, or you can't, you're finished with the season, and now you get a new artifact. You start over. It's kind of a better refreshing cutoff date because you're not getting this. The same artifact every time. So I strongly think we're going to be getting a new artifact in Season of the Dawn, and it really fits with Bungie's getting a new one really fits with Bungie's, I guess, idea and storytelling and how they want to handle their seasons. So I'm really excited to think about some of the different things that they could be bringing over, some of the different items that they can be using. It's going to be really neat to kind of see and think about, especially just as in next week we get to dive into Shadowkeep. And we'll be well and underway in Shadowkeep by this time next week. It's gonna be awesome. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna cut this segment now, just because I've kind of talked it over. I've wrote it over, and I've kind of dissected a little bit more of what my thoughts on the artifact for Destiny 2 and Shadowkeep, and looking forward to what the future brings for the game and what the artifact does and how it helps influence the game. And help us interact with the Destiny universe. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, for being here, and yeah, I hope to see you around. Yeah, all right, guys, take it easy, have a good night, bye.